There are few joys as universal as the rush from completely and utterly destroying something. It's why Edward Norton punched Jared Leto in the face a dozen times in Fight Club. It's why people spend hundreds of dollars to buy expensive gadgets on launch day, then throw them at the ground in front of dozens of heartbroken onlookers. It's often why we play video games, safely living out our most destructive urges and staying out of jail. Some games let you build up an entire world and take it apart brick by brick. Others are filled with tons of explosives and breakable objects. And a select few even let you demolish entire structures and watch them topple to the ground. Either way, these are 8 games that provide some of the most satisfying ways to break, blow up, or otherwise destroy everything in sight. Blast Corps. Back in the 90s, Rare was one of the greatest studios around, and Blast Corps was one of its best. It's based on a simple premise: a giant truck seemingly packed with every last drop of the world's supply of nitroglycerin, plutonium, gunpowder, and gasoline is on a collision course, and it's up to you to keep it from crashing. In order to prevent ultimate destruction, you have to destroy everything in the truck's path. It makes a kind of sense. Thankfully, you have a vast array of machinery to enact your brand of destructive carnage, from bulldozers to dump trucks to flying mechs. And whether it's a set of explosive barrels, some innocuous crates, or a random barn, everything blows up real good. Part action, part puzzle, always satisfying. Blast Corps is a demolitionist's delight.
Troubled by strange noises in the night?
You experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic.
Ghostbusters, the video game. Remember that scene from Ghostbusters? No, not the one where Dan Aykroyd dreams about getting frisky with a ghost. No, not the one that heavily implies Sigourney Weaver and Rick Moranis just had sex. The part in the hotel, where our trio of misfits finally get their big break and catch their first apparition? That one. How fun would it be to just wreck house with a proton pack? Well, thanks to Ghostbusters, the video game, you can. The first level is pure fan service as you revisit the Sedgwick Hotel to hunt down a bunch of ghosts. Only this time, you get to raise hell and destroy everything in sight in your quest to prevent mass hysteria. Chandeliers, paintings, furniture, all will fall to the might of your proton beam. Just don't cross the streams.
The elevators and escort any ladies safely to their rooms.
The Incredible Hulk, Ultimate Destruction. For a guy with the word SMASH in his catchphrase, the Incredible Hulk hasn't really had a game live up to his signature acts of wanton destruction. But all of that changed with Ultimate Destruction, an open-world game filled to the brim with tools of annihilation. There are so many things for the Hulk to grab, throw, and otherwise wreck that he's basically running around like a kid in a candy store. A volatile, explosive candy store. From the word go, you're pretty much given free rein to run around open environments and tackle objectives how you see fit. Break a car in half, crush it onto your hands, and use the car bits as steel boxing gloves. Run up the side of a building, leaving pockmarks in your wake. Launch into a helicopter. Ultimate Destruction puts you in the shoes of a living wrecking ball, incidentally making it one of the best superhero games ever made. Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 is a physics wonderland, a playground of seesaws, breakable boxes, and launchable buzzsaws. It blew our minds when we played it 10 years ago, and even now the gravity gun in particular is still a total blast. This manipulator of magnetic fields lets you rip objects off the walls, pick up scattered debris, or even catch a grenade midair and throw it all at your hapless foes. Of course, Gordon Freeman's unique weapon shines brightest in the spooktacular level, Ravenholm. At this point, what once was a fairly standard, if best in class, first-person shooter now becomes a survival horror game, complete with an overabundance of facehuggers and a distressing lack of supplies. But you have a gravity gun, and it becomes your ultimate tool of improvisation. Grab a buzzsaw off the ground and slice those zombies in half. Pick up an explosive canister and lob it into the horde. Ravenholm is filled with tons of breakable objects, volatile barrels, and Rube Goldbergian traps, and whipping them around with a gravity gun is still satisfying to this day. Rampage. King Kong may have invented the giant monster genre, but Rampage actually lets you be the monstrous ape. Or lizard. Or werewolf. Whatever. Rampage is all about destruction as you and your monster buddies move from city to city, leveling skyscrapers and eating helicopters out of the sky. Methodically chomp on innocent bystanders as they poke their heads outside of their windows, or quickly take out the building's supports and watch it crumble into dust. The choice is yours, as long as you've got enough quarters. Other games might have brought kaiju destruction to a three-dimensional space, but there's something so beautiful and pure about running side to side, slowly climbing up buildings and punching them to the ground. Minecraft. Minecraft may seem like an odd inclusion on a list filled with shoot-'em-ups and explodathons, but here's the thing. While it's certainly not filled with gratuitous violence or realistic physics systems, it lets you build the world as you see fit, then dismantle it piece by piece. In a way, that's more ambitious than many games with destruction as their theme. It's the ultimate crafting game, letting you chop down trees and carve into mountains, and turn those materials provided into houses, tools, and even works of art. As long as you have the proper equipment, you can mine just about anything. Turn on creative mode and fly to the highest heights or the deepest depths and take the entire world apart, one pixelated brick at a time. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. We were wondering why it took so long for somebody to let the Force off its chain and chase after the neighborhood kids, but we're glad someone finally did it. The Force Unleashed lets you get in touch with your inner Sith, allowing you to crush, throw, blow up, or otherwise decimate pretty much anything you can think of. And it's as amazing as it sounds. The Force Unleashed gives you your first taste of power by putting you in Darth Vader's imposing boots, letting you unleash your fury on the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk. Blow open massive wooden gates and watch the splinters rain down. Cut trees into toothpicks and launch Chewbacca's buddies off a cliff. But it doesn't stop there. Eventually, you'll take control of Vader's apprentice and learn a whole new array of explosive abilities, like grabbing a Star Destroyer out of the sky and slamming it into the ground. Is it over the top? Yeah. Is it stupid? Oh, totally. Is it fun? You bet your nerve-hurting butt it is.
Drop the weapon. Now!
You guys afraid of a hammer?
Drop it, smartass.
Red Faction Guerrilla. Of course Red Faction is on this list. While Red Faction started as an average shooter with some terrain-deforming ideas, the series really came into its own on the third outing. While Guerrilla doesn't let you make a dent in the surrounding terrain, it does let you take out entire goddamn buildings if you're so inclined. Just grab your sledgehammer, take out a few supports, and blammo, that 3-story building is now lying in pieces on the ground. And it's not just buildings. Cover can be blown away with a well-placed grenade, bridges can be leveled with a few rockets, pretty much any man-made structure can be turned into so much debris with a good smacking. It never gets old. For more content just like this, be sure to subscribe to Games Radar.